Gee, I'm a tree.
Hello and welcome back. Today what we're going to talk about is something called a conditional. Now, when we're talking about conditionals, we're talking about something that has a condition. We, in this case, a conditional, another way you can think about it is the word contract. You're going to basically make a contract with somebody. When we're looking at this statement, it's going to be two ideas that are connected by an if and a then. An example, if you mow my lawn, then I pay you $20. Now, when we're talking about this, you have to take a look at the fact I have two statements. You mow my lawn, and I will pay you $20. There's a condition here. There's a contract. You mow my lawn, I will give you $20. Now, we're going to explore a little bit about how you can determine if this is true or false, but beforehand, we're going to just talk about the symbol. The symbol is just an arrow. So if I have two statements, P and Q, you would put an arrow in between them to represent if P, then Q. Now, the truth value for a disjunction. This one gets a little confusing, so just bear with me. There's four different situations. So the first thing that happens is, if you mow my lawn, then I pay you $20. So a true, then true. You mowed my lawn, I paid you $20, we're cool. So that is a true statement. Now, when we have the next part, if let's say the first part is true, you mowed my lawn. The second part, you paid me $20, I didn't do that. It's false, we're not cool. You did what I asked you to do, and I didn't hold up my end of the bargain. So that's a false statement. Now, let's just take a look at the next one. Let's say the first part is false. You didn't mow my lawn. Then I didn't pay you $20. We should be cool. You didn't do what I asked you to do. I'm not doing what I asked you to do. So therefore, this statement here is true. This still holds up on the contract. Now the next part, which is confusing, is let's say the first part is false. You didn't mow my lawn. And yet I paid you $20. Are we cool? Now, in your head you should think about yourself only. If you didn't do any work and I gave you $20 anyway, you're cool with that. So therefore, this statement is true. The reason that this is true is because we could have had a second contract that is not mentioned here. For example, if you jump in the air, I will give you $20. Now, you jumped in the air, I gave you $20. This part of the statement is still true, even though it has nothing to do with this contract that we have here. But technically, I did pay you $20, not to mow my lawn, but to jump in the air. So therefore, this was a true statement. Okay? Now, we're going to go over some more examples to help you figure this out a little bit more. But before we do that, there's two things I need to talk about. These two statements, you mow my lawn and I pay you $20. We have some terms for this. The first part is what we call the hypothesis. Now the hypothesis is this is what you are going to do. Okay? Now, the second part is the conclusion. This is what's going to happen if the hypothesis is true. Now, the validity of this statement. If the hypothesis is true and the conclusion is false, then the whole conditional is false. Otherwise, it'll be true. Okay? Now, let's take a look at some examples. No more dogs and cats, but let P be I studied for the test, and Q be I got above a 90. If P is true, and Q is true, that means you studied, and you also got above a 90 on the test. We're going to translate and determine the truth value of the statement. If I studied for the test, that's P. Then, so an if and then, I will get above a 90. I got above a 90. That was Q. Now, the first part's true. The second part is true. Now, that means the whole statement is true. Okay? Now, let's take a look at the next one. If I do not study for the test, then I will not get above a 90. So remember, when we have the not in the statement, I do not study for the test, there will be swiggy P. Then I will not get above a 90. Swiggy Q. Now, P is true, so swiggy true and swiggy true. This is a false to false. Basically, this means, you didn't study for the test, you didn't get a 90. I made a deal with you. So therefore, this is going to be a true statement. You didn't hold up your end of the bargain, I didn't hold up my end of the bargain. Now, I want you to try these two problems on your own. Determine for what values of x will make the statements false. Remember, you need to get the first part to be true and the second part to be false. And the easiest way to do this is to go through the choices and see which ones come out. Okay? If you have any questions, you can feel free to leave a comment. Otherwise, you can ask me. Otherwise, have a great day. Bye.